Welcome back. Today we have a big one. The top 50 MLB players for the 2024 season. I ranked them 1 through 50. We're going to see them in reverse order, obviously. My job is not to tell you who was the best in the past. My job is to tell you who is going to be the best in 2024. So my rankings are a little bit weird. They mostly stay consistent with that kind of stuff, but you'll see my explanation soon. Like and subscribe if you have not already. Let's get into the video. We're going to go ahead and get the top 50 started. At number 50, I have Yoshinobu Yamamoto. He had a pretty rocky start in his first start over there in Korea. Juice balls, maybe, but I don't think he's going to be a Cy Young contender. I think he's going to be right around this 50 range. I mean, he's one of the highest paid players in baseball, and deservedly, he was fantastic over in Japan. Interested to see how he does. Probably a rookie of the year type guy. I don't think Cy Young quite yet. At 49, I have another starting pitcher, but this time Logan Webb, who I think is a sneaky Cy Young contender. He's got a little bit better of a defense around him now, and last year he was fantastic too. One of the top 5, I believe, in Cy Youngs. Logan Webb's been one of the better pitchers really since he's been in the league, and I think he deserves to be at this 49 spot. I think he'll be a top 10 pitcher for sure in baseball next season. Sneaky dark horse for Cy Young. At 48, I have Sean Murphy. Obviously, the first half of the year last year, he was fantastic. Best catcher in baseball, and then he had a very slow second half. He still finished with about a 300 average, 900 OPS, but I think there are other catchers who are definitely better than them and who will have a better season than him this year. If I had to give a guess, I think he's going to be about a 270 hitter with about an 800 OPS, which is fantastic. Paul Goldschmidt is dropping down quite a bit from, what we would think of him as last year's MVP just a couple years ago. I think he's going to bounce back a little bit. I think he'll have around an 800 OPS, not back in his MVP level like he was in 2022, but I think he will be definitely better, and I think he'll be in this top 50 range. Brandon Nimmo, I think one of the more underrated players in baseball. He just gets on base an elite rate. Last year, he probably had a career year, best year of his career. He doesn't quite have like the upside of everyone else, and he's getting a little bit older now, but I do think he'll have a fantastic season as well. 830 OPS or so. Christian Yelich had a bounce back year last year. I'm going to pop him here in at 45. I think he'll have a better year than Nimmo for sure, but I don't think he'll be as good as we had a couple more outfielders coming up here soon. I think Yelich here at 45. I think I'm being generous. I think people would put him lower, but he got back into the 800 OPS, started to hit for a little more power again last year, finally. First time since his MVP years we've seen. Right ahead of him, I have Chicago Cubs Seiya Suzuki, who sneaky was one of the better hitters in baseball last year. No one really knew about him. 820-ish OPS right there, or last year, excuse me. I think he'll keep on improving. He's really just improved ever since he's gotten here into the MLB. I expect him to have a career year this year. So Garrett Cole all the way down at 43. You're thinking, whoa, pump the brakes. You gotta think about performance for 2024. Garrett Cole is probably the best pitcher in baseball, right? Think about performance for 2024. He's still gonna get you to the 43rd best, even though he's gonna miss probably a month or two. You gotta factor that in. I still think he'll be probably one of the best pitchers in baseball when he's playing, but he's not going to play as much. He'll probably still get 20 to 25 starts in. New San Francisco Giant Blake Snell, another reigning Cy Young. I have him coming in here at 42. I think that his quality when he is throwing will not be as good as Garrett Cole, but he will pitch more if you ask me. Still got to get ramped up here for the season. I assume he's been taking care of himself, but now he's on the major league roster. He's got tremendous upside. He's disgusting, and he can opt out and go get the contract he wants next year. Kevin Gausman here at 41. His splitter is maybe the nastiest pitch in baseball. He's fantastic. Ever since 2021, really, he's been one of the best pitchers in baseball. Kind of broke out in 2021 with the Giants. Past 2 years, he's been fantastic as well. I think I don't know if he'll be my Cy Young pick. We'll get that tomorrow. He'll be close to that, though. I think that he's going to be right around this range. I have Cody Bellinger here at 40. I think Cody Bellinger is kind of just all the way back now. I know we only saw it for 1 year, but dude, his 1 year that he put it up for was fantastic. And he looks like better than old Belly. I think he could be even higher than this. I think he'd be a top 20 player by next year. He's still young, and he's on another prove-it contract, kind of. We'll see. Another guy who people just kick under the shelf. People are like, hey, he's not a top 50 player. Max Fried is fantastic. When this guy is pitching, he is gross, and he's one of, if not the best pitcher in baseball. There's a reason why this rotation is feared. It's because they have Strider and they have Fried. Fried is a free agent after this year. The dude is going to be paid stupid money. He should be. I would honestly, I think he's worth around what Garrett Cole's contract was. Adolis Garcia here at 38, kind of the playoff hero for them, the World Series champions. 2021, he was good. He kind of broke out a little bit, but last year he was even better. He led the league in RBIs, almost hit 40 home runs last year. This guy is going to be a feared hitter, and he's not even that bad in the outfield. He's got a cannon. I have Bo Bichette, sorry about the picture here at 37. His defense is horrible, but he's always going to hit. I think his hitting alone is going to pop him right into this range, 45 to 35 range every single year. He's still young. Maybe he gives another level that we haven't seen before. Yandy Diaz, another one of the more underrated players in baseball. This guy just flat out hits all the time. He doesn't play great defense anywhere, but he plays a lot of positions. But yeah, the last few years, he's just flat out hit. He's kind of been Bo, but a little bit better. Sad he can't do it in the playoffs, but I kind of want to see him in a different spot, see if he can do as well. I like Yandy Diaz. Hate to lump them together, but I have Randy being just a little bit better because I think Randy's going to provide more value in the other areas like speed and defense, while hitting just a little bit worse than Yandy, but I think it puts him over that threshold if you think about total value. Randy will have an OPS above 800. He'll hit about 260. 30 home runs, maybe, something like that. Luis Robert Jr., Robert, whatever you want to say. One of the more complete players in baseball as well. We finally saw him healthy for a full year, and he hit like 38 home runs. Saw the potential. He's kind of stuck there in Chicago. Bad team. His numbers might improve. We'll have to see. Bregman at 33, also on a sneaky contract here. He will be a free agent after this year. See if they extend him or not. I don't know. He's still relatively young. Bregman was kind of all the way back. We're back to seeing him being that walk king on base guy, barreling the ball up again. I like Bregman when he's healthy, when he plays well. I think he's going to come out in a contract year and play. Just ahead of him, I have Rafael Devers. This is one I kind of struggled with. I just trying to figure out who I wanted to put above Bregman or Devers. Devers had him a year last year. Like, he was good, but he wasn't good for his standards. It wasn't up to his standards. I think Rafi bounces back this year. He barrels just about everything. His defense, just don't even pay attention to it. Maybe more DH days now, though. They don't have Justin Turner there. Will Smith has been sneaky, just kind of a barrels king and just kind of flat out hits anything and everything ever since he's been in the big leagues. I'll give you a spoiler now. JT Realmuto is not on this list. Will Smith is very close to being the best catcher in baseball. There's one more guy ahead of him who's just a generational. Jose Altuve coming here at 30. He only played like half the season. He still had a 900 OPS, and he came back and he was just fine after the injury. And he had clutch. He's clutch in the playoffs. One of the most clutch players I've ever seen, like in any sport ever. And I don't think he's slowing down. Like, even though he's older, he's not going to slow down. All right, so for this pick, I have to explain myself quite a bit. When you're doing this, you can't just take the locks. It's kind of like March Madness. March Madness going on right now. Can't just take the favorite higher seed in every game. Got to pick some upsets. This is kind of my equivalent. I think Xander Bogaerts is still one of the best hitters in baseball. One of the best, I mean, like top 25, top 30 hitters in baseball. We've kind of already seen it. I mean, the guy's got the potential to be a 320 batting average, and I think he can be a 320 batting average. 300 maybe. Well, let's start with 300. He hits 300 this year, 850 OPS, 25 home runs. Like, he had the power last year. Guy's a top 30 player for sure. And he'll be playing better defense at second base. Arenado was top 5 player last year. Pretty much consensus top 5 player. Bad year for his standards. First time not winning a gold. I think he bounces back. I think he has a much better year this year. Get back to the 800 OPS. He'll be better than Goldie. He's younger. He's kind of just more... just kind of a better player. Francisco Lindor here at 27. 30-30 guy last year. His batting average is just a little bit low. I hate to be that old head. His batting average is just a little low. But he's still one of the most electric players in baseball. He's also right in his prime. Stinks that the Mets can't compete with him. Yeah, suck it. So here's where another place where the list would differentiate. If you were to ask me, I'd put Gunnar Henderson at my 50 spot. I was thinking about that. I'd put Gunnar Henderson right at my 50 spot if I were doing like top 50 players right now. But I gotta predict for what I think is going to happen. I think Gunnar even more breaks out. High 8s OPS. I know he had an OPS in the 8s last year. Maybe we see the power surge come out a little bit more. Maybe a couple more stolen bags. I think this Orioles team is going to be scary, and he's one of the reasons why. Maybe he earns himself an extension. Manny Machado is just kind of like too good to not have a good year this year. He had a bad year last year. It's really like the first time we've seen it in his career. But he's still in his prime, just like a lot of these Padres guys. Can't count the Padres out this year, man. I think that they could definitely make a push at the playoff. And Manny's got to be a reason why. He's going to get some more DH days probably, even though he's great at third base. Interested to see what happens. Corbin Burns, another man in a contract year this year. He needs to perform well, and I know that he will. I think ERA around 3. Last year was not his strongest season by any means, and the return on him kind of showed it didn't really get that much. DL Hall being like the main piece of that trade. I don't like that very much for the Brewers. Corbin Burns will get into the contracts a year. Maybe they extend him before. I doubt it. I think he's a Boris client. I doubt that they extend him. But that'd be cool. I want the Orioles to have an ace. Let's head to Marcus Semien, one of the most complete players in baseball. Last year, even into his 30s now. Mid-30s, early 30s. Came all the way back from that 2022 where he's just kind of a mid player. Showed more of that 2021, but the tacked on the stolen bases, just kind of like everybody did, but him especially. Marcus Semien is one of the better players, and they got to the World Series mainly, or in part, apart because of him. Even though actually in the playoffs he was not good last. Kyle Tucker, another one that's just a complete player. He's big, but he can steal bags, plays decent defense, even though the metrics don't like him defensively. And he's just a flat out good hitter. I mean, he deserves to be up in this top 25 range. So this is where I'm going to start to lose some people. Strider at 21. I don't think Strider wins the Cy Young. I guess this is kind of throwing off and like kind of giving away my picks. Check out tomorrow's video. I'll have my full season picks tomorrow. Strider here at 21 because I think there's one guy who's going to be better than him. I think Strider's going to have like a 3.5 ERA, which is good. He'll strike out just about everybody, but he's going to let the long ball. The long ball is going to come back and haunt him pretty much. I feel like as long as he keeps throwing like he is. I think he added a third pitch, so we'll see how he does with that. But man, like the long ball killed his ERA last year. Probably killed his Cy Young candidacy too. Because I think that Zach Wheeler is going to be the best pitcher in baseball next year. He got the biggest contract, the biggest extension for a reason. He's ready to break out. He's adding another pitch, a splitter, changeup to his arsenal. He is gross when his fastball is on. It's got life. He's unhittable. Zach Wheeler is fantastic. 19, I got Yordan Alvarez because he's going to be a DH. And last year he was all right, but he was also hurt. So I want to see him kind of play more games this year. If he does, he'll be a top 10 player, but I think he's going to be right around this 20. I think Trey Turner has a sneaky chance at being an MVP because the last half of 2023 was scary good. MVP caliber numbers for sure for like a few months. If he continues that, now that he's settled in, he's one of the better players in baseball, one of the best players in baseball. But I'm going to be conservative. I'm going to keep him at 18 because I don't think he's going to be an MVP, but I think he's going to be very good. Austin Riley's just quietly turned into one of the best players in baseball consistently. Like the last 3 years, he's been fantastic. OPS right around 900, 30-something home runs. Plays okay defense too. I think Austin Riley will continue to be a great player in this. This is where the best catcher in baseball comes in. I think Adley Rutschman is going to go ballistic this year and maybe get an MVP. Might be my pick. I don't know. I got to pick. Guy gets on base in an elite clip. If he can increase the power just a little bit more, which I know he can. He's a big, strong guy. I think Adley's going to take another level, and he plays incredible defense, so his WAR is always going to be high. I love Adley. I got to get a jersey of his. I've got Matt Olson here at 15. I know he was one of the best players in baseball. You could probably say top 5 last year in baseball. But again, you got to take an upset. He's still going to be one of the best players in baseball, but I don't think he's going to be as good as last year. All the underlying numbers like him. I mean, he's still young. He's still right in his prime. But 54, do we really expect 54 again? I don't know. Corbin Carroll here at 14. You got a couple of young guys, few young guys coming here in a row. Corbin Carroll here at 14. Fantastic year last year in his rookie campaign. Was he the rookie of the year? I believe he was. Took his team to a World Series now too, and if he might even get his OPS even higher. It's going to add value to him because he's like a 30, 50. Bobby Wood Jr. fresh off the contract extension. I think he's proven himself even more than Corbin Carroll has. I think Bobby Witt's going to have an MVP-like season, but it's on a bad mid-Royals team, if you ask me. See if they trade guys away and try to build around Bobby now that they have him locked. Julio at 11 last year, I believe, had him like in the 20s, but I think he's going to be close to an MVP as well. Maybe he will be an MVP. We'll see. I mean, 30-30 guy as well. He's going to hit for maybe more power than some of the other guys, though. Stolen bases might go up. He plays Gold Glove level defense, too. Speaking of Gold Glove, we got the Platinum Glove. Fernando Tatis Jr. People are sleeping on him. Fernando's going to have a fantastic year this year. I say 30-40, 30 home runs, 40 bags, another Gold Glove, and you got a top 10 player. I think Bryce Harper is also going to have an immensely incredible year this year. Moved over to first base permanently. Will we get him for a full year? I believe so. Barring he gets hurt, he's going to have, knock on wood, he's going to have a fantastic year. And because right before he got hurt the first time with his thumb, he was like at 1,000 OPS. He's like 2 years removed from MVP. Like the guy can be one of the best players, if not the best player in baseball. Jose Ramirez is just quietly like fantastic on a bad team. Over and over and over and over again, and he's also complete. He steals bases, he plays good defense. Switch hitter gives him value too. For me, he's going to continue to be one of these better players. Corey Seager at 7. Guy, if he had played a full season, probably would have taken the MVP away from Ohtani somehow, some way. Had to be close even like between them two, even though he didn't play the full year. He played like 120 games. Then he was their MVP of their World Series run. Corey Seager is fantastic. Ohtani at 6. Let me explain myself. He's not pitching. I think he's going to hit well. I don't think he's going to hit as well as he did last year, but who knows? Maybe he just will. 1,000 OPS about, but he's just DHing, so it kind of lowers his value. Freddie Freeman, I have him ahead of him because he's gonna have a 950 OPS. He's gonna have 40 doubles, 20 homers. He stole like 20 bases. Freddie just does whatever he wants to do, and he's like 35 years old now too. He barrels up anything and everything that gets thrown at. Juan Soto at 4. I got a couple Yankees back to back here. It kind of had to choose who I think was going to be better. I think Juan Soto is going to get on base more, but we'll do them together. I think Aaron Judge is going to have more home runs, obviously, and play better defense, which is also obvious. So I think he's a more complete player than Juan Soto, but these two kind of put them together, and they're just kind of one ranked dynamic duo, which gives us to number 2, which I also have to remind you again, I'm picking this who do I think is going to be the best. I have Ronald Acuna at number 2 because I think that there's a guy who's going to best him this year as the best player in baseball. Ronnie has a little knee injury. I'm a little bit scared for. He should be here for opening day, but last time he had a knee injury, we saw what happened to him. He didn't have a great year the following. He's number 2. He's still like one of the best players in baseball. I think this year he'll be the second best player in baseball to Mookie Betts. Move to shortstop. He could be a Gold Glover there, and I think he's gonna be the best player in baseball. 40 home runs, maybe. 30 stolen bases, maybe. 1 dotting OPS, probably. Mookie's just a stud, and I don't get why the Red Sox got rid of him, because he's probably gonna, he was like left the top 10, and he's probably gonna be number 1. That's kind of the trajectory we're on right now. Thank you guys for watching. That's the top 50 players who I think are gonna be performing for 2024. Let me know what you guys think. Have a great day. Peace.